Judging the Judge, legal expert, managing director of Donda Attorneys, Melusi Krulu joins us right now to talk about the Judicial Conduct Tribunal, which has wrapped up now its hearings into the sexual harassment allegations against Eastern Cape Judge President Pabi Moloi. Say the right words. Oral arguments scheduled for the 21st and 22nd of October, and this comes several days that we've been watching this testimony where MBENENGE has denied accusations made by his former junior secretary, who I believe wasn't necessarily his directly. She didn't report to him directly, but because of the nature of the office and the industry, she is definitely with much less power as a result of where he stands and sits in the judiciary. So, Melusi, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Power Lunch.
Good morning to you, or good afternoon to you, Papi, and to the listeners at home. Thank you for having me.
You're absolutely welcome, and we love having you because you understand what's going on here, whereas a lot of us just look at the general reaction. But you're also a human being. So let's talk about your general reaction to this week's proceedings, what you've seen on social media or, at Donda Attorneys. I'm sure the attorneys have a room where you all talk about what's going on out there, and what stood out for you in the Judge MBENENGE, the way that he presented his defense.
Okay, I think he came out as confident in his defense, what may come out to be arrogant to others, but he stood to the facts, and you could see that he's an experienced judge and legal practitioner in the way he was even, directing
absolutely
the evidence leader to ask questions. So that was quite interesting to see, but we will see how the oral arguments will be done to give us an idea where this is going.
I mean, when you are being accused of something, to be that cool, calm, and collected, and to be able to draw comparisons the way that he did, and to be able to shut down arguments the way that he did, this is education and years of experience.
Yes, of course, it shows that he's an experienced lawyer himself, and he's able to defend himself. And I think it's all about the facts. It's all about the relationship that they have, the two of them, with the complainant. And then it will be up to the judge who to decide in this case whether he believes it was flirtation or sexual harassment.
Okay, but both of those are quite serious allegations, right? I think when people don't see femicide or don't see rape, they think that sexual harassment isn't so serious, but it is. It's a crime. It's a serious allegation against him. Sending of explicit messages, alleged attempts to solicit sex in the chambers. I mean, what is the legal threshold for proving the sexual harassment in a tribunal like this?
Okay, it's all about facts and evidence that matters. But importantly, for a sexual harassment case, we look at the cause of good practice on handling sexual harassment cases. That shows what is sexual harassment, how they define it in item 4. They say it's unwelcome conduct, whether it's physical, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, that is done to the complainant. So the key word there is unwelcome. When a message is sent and shared and there's a conversation, was that unwelcome? So that is the key issue. Just for a second, there's a case that I'm remembering now. It's Mayepa versus CCMA. It's a 2008 case. It even went to the Labor Appeal Court. I think Justice Zondo or Judge Zondo was part of the judgment. What they said was, it's important that the complainant must show clearly that this is unwelcome. And when she does that and it continues, then it's sexual harassment.
And do you think he was able to show that this was welcome, not unwelcome?
Well, I think as much as I've not been following every minute of the case, there are instances where the complainant will say cute to his pictures. There are instances
will say what?
Cute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a video that I saw yesterday evening, I think at 9 p.m. because I was doing an interview on another platform.
Sure.
In that video, when he was being cross-examined, it was messages in his Xhosa.
Yes.
So she was saying to him when he was admiring her pictures, "Hlala ubawela," you know, the bawela term that is usually used to show that you are interested in something.
I don't know what that means at all.
Okay, I'll explain.
Please.
If you give me a second.
Thank you.
We always say ngibawela or ngibawela ukwenza something when you are interested to do
something. Like sabawel, that comes from that.
Bawel,
I understand.
So to say hlala ubawa in short, meaning look at my picture and keep on being interested. And in that cross-examination part, he was saying, I'm not surprised that you did not put this to her when she was on the witness stand, because this shows that she was also the one who was making advances to me and even saying I must stay interested. So you see, there's this exchange between them. That's why I'm saying that judge must decide whether there was flirtation or sexual harassment.
Very interesting. The very, very thin line between workplace flirtation and sexual harassment. What's consensual? What's flirtatious? So how do these tribunals usually assess the intention? Because when he sat there and he spoke, there was no ill intention. He was just following what she sabaweld. So how do you assess intent?
I think in the messages, if it's clear that this person is not interested in this, then that's how you follow that. The intention was that she does not want you to continue, or he, because it can be either way, but mostly she was a complainant.
Yeah.
For example, you know, I always like to refer to cases because I don't create the law. I want to refer to something.
Absolutely.
There's a case that I was interested in when I was preparing yesterday. It's Campbell Scientific Africa versus CIMAS. It's a 2015 case.
Okay.
In that case, the principle that was held was, if the complainant says she doesn't welcome this advance that the person is doing,
yes,
and he stops, it's not a sexual harassment. So the intent must be clear whether you're playing along or not. That's why there was even a Xhosa term, now I've forgotten it, that was using that in a Xhosa way. If a woman is I think umgutsa or something, you forgive me if you are Xhosa and I got it wrong. So in that term, it means that a woman can pretend to be shy. So that one is a bit tricky.
Yes, he said that as well.
Yeah, it's subjective because how can you know whether she's pretending to be fearful or to be shy or not? But I'm just saying there was this interchange of customary practices and the modern way of things. Very interesting. But besides customs or customary and modern ways of things, the important thing is where the instances or where the things that were done say welcomed or not. That will be very key. Although there are issues that she also went to his office and he showed her private parts. So this one is his word against her word.
Yeah, absolutely. And he tries to have such a clean persona by saying, why would I do such a thing? Why would I say such a thing? As if me with my wonderful hair that is white, I'm an angel, And it's very, very interesting. I wonder, I know you haven't been following every single aspect of this, but when she, the former junior secretary, Andiswa, was cross-examined, how do you feel about how they both did on the stand?
I think the important challenge was it was shown that there was instances where she showed interest in him, and for me that will be a key in showing that there were instances where she was welcoming the gestures or the approaches that were being done. It's just that for me, I'm interested to know where did it go wrong in their inverted commas, by the way, in their flirtation. Where did it go wrong? Who did what? Who said what? And maybe that will show why we are here in the first place.
We're talking about the legal expert who we have on the line now, Melusi Xulu, who's the managing director of Dando Attorneys, weighing in as the tribunal wraps against sexual harassment charges or hearing against Judge J.P. MBENENGE. Yeah, if the tribunal finds, Melusi, that Judge MBENENGE's conduct was inappropriate, what are his legal and professional consequences?
Well, they're pushing for impeachment. I think in the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen for the first time impeachment being done or against the judges. Well, look at Judge Lope, and I think the other one is Motata or Motala. So it's the same thing where he will then be impeached as being a judge, and all his privileges and benefits will be taken away from him if it reaches that point.
Okay, so impeachment means that not only can you not practice, but everything that you've built up until that point, including benefits, like you say. So, I mean, do the judges get paid like presidents get paid in perpetuity?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so the medical aids and the life of whatever it is, that all goes away.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I think maybe when we reach that point, we'll discuss it in detail and then it'll be understood properly.
When are we going to reach that point? I thought this is the point.
No, I'm saying if we reach the point.
In the case,
case.
absolutely. I beg your pardon. This is why I can't be a lawyer. I'll just be making judges all the time, jokes all the time. Okay, so that will happen. Anything else?
Yeah, I think I can't wait to listen to the oral arguments. We know that Skakan is an orator, but I think even advocates, keepers, we must not look at the famous people that we always know. It will be interesting to see how, as much as she's a woman, how she brings that aspect of a woman who has been, inverted commas, harassed, and trying to show that the judge's seniority was an issue. Because I think that is what she will use more than anything, that because he was senior, that's why she was maybe, inverted commas, bowing down to his advantage. So I think that is the angle that she wants to use.
And then if he is not, the consequences are then he can just carry on with his life.
Yes, but the optics are obviously will not be good for him, But at the end of the day, it will be proven that he did not sexually harass her, but it's just that he was having, maybe for some who are too moral, they'll say it was an inappropriate conversations or relationship.
I mean, would he be removed as judge president? Would he face some sort of professional, downsizing? Or would he just, literally, it is done? You were found not guilty, you were found not guilty.
Yeah, I think as much as we would not agree with how he did things. But the important thing is, if he's found not guilty, why should he be punished?
Yeah.
So I don't think he should be punished like that. That's why Kakane one time at the commission, he said, even if it's a person that we don't like or don't agree with, but if the justice supports him and favors him, we should allow it to be.
All right. I wonder how his wife feels about this. I wonder about the children who go to school. I wonder what people say. And he himself knows it's because of his own actions, allegedly at this point. It always fascinates me. Sammy is on the line. How's it, Sammy?
Good day again to your guest. But I'd like to know from your guest, at the beginning of the tribunal, it came out that Andiswa Mengo omitted certain parts of the conversation where she was a willing participant and even initiating conversations. And later this week, it came out that she had claimed that MBENENGE sent her a picture which was not found. The picture which was not found. And he even said that he had opened up a criminal injury charge against her. So with all that, how is that going to impact the finality, like the conclusion, like the decision of the tribunal?
Okay. Thank you. Melusi?
Sure.
Yeah, the criminal injury case is a criminal case. It's not part of this proceedings. But in the first part that my sir mentioned about messages that were not discussed, I think I did discuss that it was written in course about Hlala Ubawa. I think I mentioned that it shows that there are parts that the evidence leader did not want to be seen, but obviously the defense showed that. And what my sir is mentioning is very important about pictures that are sent, that it looks like these pictures or the picture of inappropriate images could not be proven that it was sent, except for interpretation of banana. Now, that's something else. The exact picture of private parts being shown to each other, this is not there. It's just the interpretation of banana that I'm interested in, because he was saying it's like serving a peeled chocolate. I mean, a chocolate is, sending nice things. So that was quite interesting. How I would think about it. I'm not saying in this case,
of course.
If you're an old person, my father is 70 years this year. When it comes to WhatsApp, he doesn't know anything about it.
Okay.
So maybe one could, say, look, I'm an old person. If I'm sending you a banana, a peeled banana, that's for me is a nice thing. So that's what it's about.
So as an attorney, you can do that, right? Even as a judge, he can say, look, I'm 100 and whatever years old. I don't know what the hidden meaning behind a banana is. But didn't he go and talk about it is something delicious, you peel it, you eat it, even that's a little bit worrisome for me, but I do understand then how as an attorney you can turn that around and use the fact that he's that age to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks banana yako KZN. That's all he thinks about. So yeah, that's very interesting. I know that we've kept you a little bit longer, but we have two people who'd like to speak to you very, very quickly, and then we'll let you go. Kgopolang, hello.
Hi, Pabi, and your guest. I have a question for your guest around. So let's say the judge is found that he didn't, sexually harass the lady. But where can we locate the inappropriateness of his conduct when we look at the judge's code of conduct? Because we do know that the judges have a code of conduct that they need to uphold.
Yeah.
And if he violated that, what are the consequences? And can we locate flirting or as a violation of the code of conduct?
Perfect. That's very, very good question. Melusi?
Yeah, I think the policy at the workplace is important, but the code of conduct that my say is talking about, I think it's Article 5 that I saw. That the judges must carry themselves in a proper way and so forth. So that one maybe might be an issue. maybe that demotion, if he's not found guilty of sexual harassment, but if it's found that it was inappropriate, maybe that demotion you're talking about might be one of the issues. I'm not sure at this point, but I do think that that is a valid point, that it's not necessarily looking, maybe sexual harassment is a very high mountain to climb, but there might be other issues that might be alternatives to sexual harassment, such as the conduct of the judge, how he carries himself.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is very, very important to state how sexual harassment ranks in terms of things that you could do wrong in the workplace. Melusi?
Yeah, it's important. You know, the thing is, as a gentleman, or mostly as a gentleman, you see someone that you think, oh, this one is beautiful, and you want to play and, you know, kind of like flirt and court, so to speak, have some courtship. But then at the workplace, it might be something that you must be careful about, because you think, oh, I'm just ngiyashela ngesiZulu, ngiyashela into. But at the end of the day, it will be inappropriate at the workplace. And that is why I'm saying it's important for the complainant to say, I don't want this, stop this, so that it doesn't carry on, because it might be that it's being allowed, inverted commas, and then the defense will be, oh, but she never said she's unwelcoming what I'm doing. That is why in the Maefa case that I mentioned, judge posed the question, and they said, if the advances are not refused, how will the person who's doing them know? So immediately refuse. That's my advice to a person who can be a complainant, whether it's a male or a female.
And then you've got to then back it up in writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Immediately refuse. Yes.
Okay. Godfrey, hi.
Hi, Pabi and your guest. I mean, I'm coming with pain and trying to...
Pain?
As a black person, this thing is humiliating. At one point, should they settle out of court and spare the embarrassment of the family and all of that? When you listen to a thing, it's embarrassing. Whatever, you can try to justify or who's right or who's wrong. But should the people, the community, the nation listen to go through this pain? Like in America, Michael Jackson went through the same thing. He settled out of court. At least nobody knows. It's him and that person. And then especially this thing, it's got a lot of things. It's deep. It's humiliating me now as a black person.
It's humiliating you as a black person in what way?
And that person and the affected person, of course, and the others and everybody. No, I'm just saying, listening to it. They wrap it underneath and then settle out of court.
So they must keep it a secret.
And then move on. And then you spare your wife, your family. Now the community in church, wherever he goes, people will know. We'll call him banana. The children are going to be affected. The psychology of that. The last point is if they find him guilty, they're going to dock some privileges and then what. This is also, for me, unfair. The family is going to suffer now. They are used to going to multiracials, because of the...
But whose fault is that, Abud Godfrey? Whose fault
no, I agree. Yes, whoever. Remember that at some times, it could be right now, they could, somebody smear campaign and who are targeting politically or whatever position and use that. We never know. I'm just speaking out loud, Lati.
I have heard that as a speculation. But I tend to agree that the person who is in charge of making sure that they are not in trouble for sexual harassment or rape or anything against a woman, and then obviously the other way around, is the person who is doing those things. It is their responsibility not to be a rapist. That's it. It's your job not to sexually harass someone. That's it. So I'm very opposed to we must keep it a secret. The family will be embarrassed. Yes, they will be embarrassed because that is your father. And that is what your father does. And I think that that's very important. I know we kept things secret in the olden days because of, abantu bazothini, but that time is over. That time is over, and the only person responsible is is him if he's found guilty. And if he's not found guilty, then we'll find other things that are perhaps putting this on a platform. So there we go.